love the Spanish. I'm all about the Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I'm all about the Spanish.
So do you speak another language, Christy?
Yeah.
I speak German, and it does us no good in this election. So we're going to have Joe, make sure Joe answers all of his questions in 4 languages at least.
I think it'd be important for me to demonstrate my Spanish speaking as well, Jeffrey. Hola.
Hola.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches, Jose.
¿Cómo está usted?
Bien. ¿Y usted?
Yeah. That's kind of all I remember from Spanish class, Jeffrey. So it's going to have to cut off right there on the.
Why? Okay, well, let me ask you this. Why do you think a lot of the candidates are using Spanish in this election? What do you think is driving that?
Well, obviously, with the Latino population right now increasing in the United States, they're becoming more and more of an important voting bloc. And so these guys are trying to play to them as well, which is understandable. What I got going for me, Jeffrey, is I got a kid who works at the Mexican restaurant in Bluffton, Ohio. So
Bluffton.
that should mean a couple votes right there.
Well, historically speaking, those of Hispanic backgrounds are often from faith backgrounds, particularly Roman Catholic, as well as others. No, there's a lot of Pentecostal, and a lot of the key parts of the American Solidarity Party are, I would say, a reflection or do reinforce, such as a pro-life ethic and in other areas. So having said that, how do you think the American Solidarity Party reaches the Hispanic community in our country?
Well, I think, Jeffrey, from my end of it, the Catholic Church teaches about preferential option for the poor, which is a very strong ethos within the context of our faith. And what we did was we have done 3 border tours over a period of about 3.5 to 4 months in the southern border, looking at Hispanic immigration issues from every angle imaginable. And so what we bring to the table is that we were in the slums of Juarez looking at the poverty there, 200,000 people living in tremendous abject poverty. And so if we just turn our backs or build a higher wall or whatever, I just don't think that's the way to go. I think that my platform calls for amnesty and for family reunification. I think that's much more in line with the ethos of the Catholic Church around those particular issues, especially Hispanic immigration. And like I said, we saw that firsthand interviewing people at the border patrol agents, refugees that were coming across. Is pretty poignant. I just as a vignette, at one point, Jeffrey, we were in Juarez, as I talked about, and there was a Catholic priest that was taking us around there. He had an orphanage. He'd go back in the back alleys to take kids off the alleys and bring them to the orphanage in Juarez. It was that bad. And so he's showing us Juarez, and Juarez kind of looked like hell. And when you look across the fence at El Paso, it looked like heaven. In El Paso's socioeconomically, not that high up the scale. However, he looks at me, we're standing right at the fence, Jeffrey. And he said, okay, Joe, here's my take on immigration. He said, Juarez. And then he turns and he points to El Paso. And he says, here's the fence. He goes, what do you think Jesus would do with the fence? You know, that was the most poignant vignette out of that whole experience. I looked at the priest and I said, oh, Father, you know what he'd do? He'd take the fence down and go down and help them as much as possible. And so that's our platform.